At a Hyundai plant in Georgia today when ICE agents suddenly appeared on site. Our sister station in Savannah reports people there panicked when ICE arrived with multiple Humvees and started searching cars at the plant. A whistleblower there has previously warned of undocumented immigrants working in unsafe conditions. Today, some people ran, jumped fences, or used rooftops to try to escape ICE agents. Now, this is a developing story, and we're working to learn if anyone was detained.
Breaking news out of South Georgia, where 450 people are in custody after a massive immigration raid at a Hyundai plant. This is just outside of Savannah. This is one of the largest and most high-profile manufacturing sites in the state, employing about 1,400 people. Workers say hundreds of agents in several different agencies participated in the sting.
We are actively conducting an investigation into unlawful employment practices going on at this massive multi-hundred acre construction site behind me.
Homeland Security says the investigation is expected to continue beyond tonight. Hyundai says that it is cooperating with law enforcement.
Good morning, and thank you all for coming. My name is Stephen Schrank. I'm the special agent in charge of Homeland Security investigations for the states of Georgia and Alabama. Yesterday, Homeland Security Investigations, in coordination with our law enforcement partners, executed a judicial search warrant as part of an ongoing criminal investigation into allegations of unlawful employment practices and serious federal crimes. This operation underscores our commitment to protecting jobs for Georgians and Americans.
Boy. So we got to talk about what yet again is the Trump administration doing exactly what I voted for, okay, which is conducting the largest mass deportation operation that we've seen in this country in a long time, okay? And because of that, we're seeing these large mass ICE raids that are happening across the country. In this story, we got to talk about a Hyundai plant in Georgia. Now, this story is particularly fascinating because ICE was tipped off to the illegals working at this plant by a whistleblower. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Massive ICE raid at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. Officials say roughly 450 undocumented migrants were apprehended. Now, Thursday's raid was carried out by multiple state and federal law enforcement agencies, including ICE, the FBI, and the Georgia State Patrol. I want to bring in CNN's Isabel Rosales, who's been monitoring this. So, Isabel, what is the latest this morning?
Omar, good morning. With more than 450 people apprehended, this marks what appears to be one of the largest ICE raids at a single site in the 22-year history of this agency. Now, here's what we know. This happened at the Hyundai Meta plant site. This is in Ella Bell, Georgia. This is just 25 miles or so west of Savannah. And according to the Associated Press, this raid stopped construction of this factory that's being built to produce batteries for electric vehicles. This same site, this same project, this was touted by Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp, who called it the largest economic development site in the state's history. Now, we have video that we're showing in pieces here of masked and armed agents there at the site, giving out orders while officers raided the facility. We can also see workers here in hard hats and vests. They were lined up as this was ongoing. On site was ICE, Georgia State Patrol, FBI, DEA, ATF. They were executing, Omar, a search warrant that DHS says is part of an ongoing criminal investigation into this, quote, allegations of unlawful employment practices and other serious federal crimes. They're saying that this sends a clear and unequivocal message, too, that they're taking this very serious. And here is the special agent in charge, what he had to say about this raid.
We are making many arrests of undocumented individuals. We have encountered many lawful employees working here, United States citizens and lawful permanent residents, and they are, of course, being released.
Meanwhile, Hyundai says it is cooperating with law enforcement, saying this: we are committed to abiding by labor and immigration regulations. And meanwhile, Omar, on this same day, hundreds of miles away in upstate New York, Another large raid at a work site. Dozens of workers at a family-owned plant that makes nutrition bars were also apprehended during an ICE raid. CNN affiliate WSTM reports that about 60 workers were detained. New York's governor condemned this raid, saying it doesn't make their streets safer. And the owner of that nutrition plant told the New York Times that the workers had legal documentation to work in the U.S., calling this ICE raid a, quote, overkill. Omar.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Okay. Apparently, again, this factory here is a factory that is full of South Korean workers, right, under H-1B visas. Okay. And confirming the recent detentions, the South Korea government acknowledged that some of its nationals were apprehended during the raid. Now, my question is, why is it that these business owners, these businesses, why are they not being punished, right? Why is the HR director, whoever's in charge of HR, why are they not being punished? Why are they not being arrested? Okay, I want to see not only the illegals suffer consequences, I want to see the businesses that are employing these illegals, okay? Whoever's responsible for employing these people, they also need to be held accountable as well too, right? So in my opinion, it's not just enough to see the illegals be arrested and deported. Yeah, I mean, we got to start holding these businesses accountable because they're the ones that are employing these illegals. If they stop employing illegals, then illegals will stop coming here, right? You know how you deal with the illegal immigration issue, right? You know how you really nip it in the bud? You just stop employing them, right? If they can't get jobs, okay, if they can't get employment, then they're not going to come here, right? It's really that simple. It's very simple. So, like I said, people are upset by this, right? Specifically out in New York, they're very upset about the ICE raid at the Cato factory. The business owner is lashing out. The Democrats are lashing out because of the fact that the law is being enforced, okay? But I think, again, these business owners who are so upset about this, they need to be held accountable because they're employing the illegals.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Tonight, the governor says she's outraged by 2 immigration raids in central New York today. Good evening. I'm Matt Mulcahy.
And I'm Megan Coleman. The governor calling the federal action cruel, saying more than 40 adults were seized, including the parents of at least a dozen children. An immigration advocacy agency says one of the raids was at a bakery in Fulton, the other in Cato.
Ahí va Susana, ahí va Yacilda. Lo está metiendo al...
Video shared with CNY Central by the statewide advocacy group Rural and Migrant Ministry shows people being led out of the facility in Cato and into a van labeled Border Patrol. They don't appear to be handcuffed, but they aren't allowed to go anywhere except that waiting van. Those at the scene say dozens were detained by federal officials. The Rural and Migrant Ministry says these people were taken to a detention center in Oswego County. The sheriff's department there has not responded to our questions.
And tonight, new video from what appears to be the moment that Homeland Security agents confronted workers inside the facility. In this video, you can see agents talking to workers, most of them women, many of whom are using their phones to record the interaction or perhaps call family or for help. This video was sent to a trusted source of CNY Central, who then forwarded to our team.
Our team reviewed these videos and found identifiable federal officers and workers that are seen in both of them. The officers can be recognized by their clothing, some of whom have logos for sports teams and non-government organizations. CNY Central also reviewed the style of their body armored vests and duty belts, along with the contents attached to them to verify those seen in the 2 videos are in fact the same people.
Now, local law enforcement did help the federal officials in today's raid. Cuyahoga County Sheriff Brian Schenck says his office was contacted by the federal government to assist with traffic and security at the site while the Homeland Security investigation took place. The raid in Cato left dozens of families without answers tonight.
Certainly a question that we've been looking into. Gary Robinson Jr. spoke with part of the company's leadership and people who say loved ones may never come home to their families.
It started as a normal workday at Nutrition Bar Confectioners until federal agents swarmed the Cato factory. Lenny Schmidt is an owner of the company.
Came into work today and, a bunch of federal agents, sheriff's department were here conducting an investigation. I'm not sure how many, probably could be about 100. Wasn't able to get into the facility. They weren't letting anybody in there.
Schmidt says it was a terrifying scene. Officers with dogs and vehicles surrounding the factory.
the people that work for us are, every single one of them are wonderful people. They work hard. They come to work smiling. Every one of them is.
Yeah, that's all great. That's great, right? I understand that, but apparently, allegedly, they're here illegally, right? And again, this is what I'm saying. I understand you're trying to make money, right? Everybody want to make money. I get it. You're a business owner. I 100% understand it, but you're employing illegals, right? You got to understand that. And again, he's lucky that he is not facing arrest or charges for employing these people. But again, that needs to start happening in order to disincentivize illegals from coming into the country in the first place. You got to start going after the people that are funding these illegals coming here, which are the people who are employing them, right? That's just the reality of the situation.
Special. And to have them taken away is not only unfortunate, it's just inhumane almost, the way you see it, as it's being conducted.
Schmidt says most of those detained were Hispanic workers, and many families now have no idea where their loved ones are. Outside the factory, cars still sit in the lot, a stark reminder of the people who never went home.
It's the first week of school. A lot of classes are starting for college students and everybody. This raid has disrupted a lot of families, hardworking families. All the kids are going to come home from school and ask, where's my mom, where's my dad?
Schmidt says the factory lost a full day of production, but the bigger loss is to the community.
You feel for these people that get taken away, and they have families, they have children, and they don't know what happened to them. There is no warning, no rhyme or reason. It's just boom, gone.
We reached out to numerous state agencies for their response, and we are still waiting to hear back from many of them. Reporting in Cato, I'm Gary Robinson Jr.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. You know how you avoid this problem of your workers just disappearing, right, overnight because of an ICE raid? Employ Americans, right? Employ Americans, people who can lawfully work in the United States of America, and you're less likely to deal with this problem, right? You're less likely to deal with it. At the end of the day, these business owners, they need to do their part, their patriotic duty, and employ Americans, right? That's what they need to do. That way you don't have to deal with this. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.